फास्टेस्ट क्रिकेट स्कोर अपडेट्स या सबसे डिटेल्ड स्टैट्स,
क्रिकेट के अंदर बाहर की खबरें
या हेल्दी डिबेट्स,
सबसे एक्यूरेट एनालिसिस
या फैंस का क्रेज, सबके लिए एक ही प्लेटफॉर्म, क्योंकि क्रिकेट मतलब क्रिकेट नेक्स्ट।
Hello and a very warm welcome to all our viewers. You are watching the CricketNext YouTube channel and we are here building up to the IPL 2024. WPL खत्म हो चुका है, RCB जीत चुकी है. Now it's time for another festival of cricket, especially in India, not just world cricket but also in India. दो टीम जिनके आज हम बात करने जा रहे हैं, नए कैप्टन दोनों का कॉमन पॉइंट ये है कि दोनों में नए कैप्टन हैं एंड बोथ आर बिगनर्स इन टर्म्स ऑफ कैप्टनसी, स्पेशली व्हेन इट कम्स टू आईपीएल. एक तरफ है एसआरएच के पैट कमिंस, जो 20 करोड़ 20.5 करोड़ के उनको लिया गया है, एंड दैट मनी टैग प्रेशर माइट आल्सो बी देयर एंड ही विल बी लीडिंग द एसआरएच साइड. एंड ऑन द अदर हैंड इट्स द गुजरात टाइटंस. हार्दिक पांड्या हैज नाउ ऑफिशियली मूव्ड टू मुंबई इंडियंस. इट्स द यंगस्टर शुभमन गिल who will take up the reins and lead Gujarat Titans, a very successful franchise in the two seasons that they have played so far. Well, to talk more about the squads and the fact that they'll be led by two new captains, I have with me Jamie Alter, Sahil Malhotra, and Taus Rizvi. Hi Sahil, hi Jamie, hi Taus. Sahil, I'll begin with you, and we'll begin with SRH. Let's start with SRH this time. Pat Cummins, what a year he had last year. I mean, World Test Championship, Ashes, World Cup, जिस पे हाथ रख रहे थे वो सोना बन रहा था. So do you think IPL के साथ भी अब वैसा होने वाला है, especially considering the fact that he is not a T20 captain. He has never led a T20 major T20 side. ऑस्ट्रेलिया खुद मिचेल मार्श को देख रही है अपने वर्ल्ड कप में लीड करने के लिए. So do you think this is a good decision to have Pat Cummins leading the side?
What's important for SRH to do is to just leave the players out there on the field and let them do what is required. Because they are one franchise where we have repeatedly heard कि बहुत ज़्यादा outside interference है, बहुत ज़्यादा owner interference है, and Aiden Markram has done wonders with them in their other leagues around the world where they play. He has been a very successful captain, but he was all at sea in the IPL last time around. I clearly remember him making statements as, I don't know who the replacement is going to be. I don't know what is happening with an X player or a Y player. So he looked very clueless as captain last time around and clearly looked कि बस वो जैसे हम कॉर्पोरेट क्रिकेट में भेजते हैं ना कि तू कैप्टन है बस टॉस करके वापस आ जा, तो वैसा वाला फीलिंग आ रहा था केन से एज Aiden Markram से. And we all know what kind of happened after that exit of David Warner. All was not well within the franchise, and a lot of indications have been there out loud and clear that all is not well when it comes to the way the franchise functions off the field. So that is important. That is what they need to do. आप चाहे पैट कमिंस को ले आओ, आप चाहे सचिन तेंदुलकर को कैप्टन बना दो या MS धोनी को कैप्टन ले आओ, but until and unless that outside interference stops and the players are allowed to do what they are required to do, I think they'll continue to struggle. So I hope it's a step in the right direction with Pat Cummins becoming the leader, because even during the IPL auction show we kind of got that understanding that Pat Cummins को इतने पैसों में लेकर आए थे just because of his bowling skills. Because to be fair, no, he hasn't had a lot of success with the ball in IPL. With KKR, he kind of struggled with the ball, but I think it was his leadership skills which they were looking at, and I hope he's given a free hand, because that is what is required when it comes to SRH. Aiden Markram is a fantastic leader, fantastic captain for their other franchises, but look at how he was in the IPL. यार मतलब वो एकदम idea ही नहीं था उसको. So I hope that is not the case, and if that is not the case, again they are one squad which has kind of continuously punched below their weight. They had a good squad last time around too, and I hope they get their act right together under the new captain and get the required leadership inspiration which they always needed.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have K. Srinivas Rao, Group Sports Editor, with us here. Shrini, we are talking about the Sunrisers Hyderabad team and the fact that Pat Cummins will be leading them. What are your thoughts about Pat Cummins becoming the captain? Yeah.
Not just Pat Cummins. I believe when I joined, I think Sahil was also talking about last year Aiden Markram's captaincy, right? Yeah. So I have one very specific point to make in this regard. You can't pick a team and then pick one guy out of it and say, isko captain bana. Doesn't work like that. Because then you picked a team based on your or somebody else's philosophy. Okay, of what a unit should ideally be like. And then You are not even in line or in sync with the guy you want to pick as captain. You don't even know whether that is the 11 that your captain, that your potential captain, that guy whose idea you may have in mind, may like that idea of the 11 or not. Okay, it doesn't work like that. Then the only way you can win this is by getting lucky. um, you know, it's that. Why do you think Chennai Super Kings or Rohit Sharma's Mumbai Indians enjoyed the kind of success that it did, that it has achieved in IPL? It is because these men have been at the helm of their franchise in terms of the decision making that happened over the last decade. हमको कौन सा कॉम्बिनेशन चाहिए, फॉरेन प्लेयर किस में इन्वेस्ट करना है, क्यों इन्वेस्ट करना है, overall combination, where do I fit in the team, where do I see a particular player fitting in the team, how am I going to gel along with this player? There are multiple factors that are at work. So यहाँ पे you picked a team last year and then you just randomly handed over to Aiden Markram because David Warner was suddenly out of the picture. Markram was all at sea last year. He was completely at sea. Was it his fault? No. Pat Cummins is a big name, but what's the guarantee he's not going to be at sea either? It's not like you've given him one, you finally unraveled the mysteries of T20 cricket and given him the squad that, he. So why is he so successful in Australia as captain? Is because that's the bonding that he's formed with those bunch of guys over a period of time. Captaincy, leadership doesn't happen overnight. कि हाँ मैं शाहरुख खान हूँ, पिक्चर कोई भी बनाओ, हीरो मैं ही रहूंगा. Doesn't work like that, you know. So we need to kind of evolve beyond that. But that said, Pat Cummins, big name, obviously no surprises that he's the captain. The moment they picked him, that price or any other price, World Cup winning captain, why wouldn't you have him?
Yeah, absolutely. The fact that he's a World Cup winning captain, as I said in the beginning, the year that he had last year, the Ashes, WTC, World Cup. Jamie, Markram, as Sahil said, for SRH in the IPL, he had a pretty bad outing, but he gave SRH franchisee two SA20 wins back to back. So he has a very contrasting results with both the SRH teams in IPL and in SA T20. Do you think this is a perfect opportunity for SRH to somehow find a win here? They have a very strong squad. It has always been about the leader that they have. Markram failed. Do you think Pat Cummins will succeed this time around?
Again, like Sahil said, I mean, it's one of those franchises where, I mean, we're talking about Aiden Markram. Usse pehle, David Warner sat outside. There was no official word. So Markram was just an extension. I mean, no disrespect to Markram, like in David Warner is a far greater player. I don't think he has the leadership skills that Aiden Markram clearly has, because Markram was captaining South Africa at the Under-19 World Cup about a decade or so ago. But David Markram was the biggest name there, and to see him play a match, but I mean, be in the squad but not play a match and then sit out and then unfollow, all that jazz. So clearly, well before Markram and his fiasco, and Sahil is right. I remember he said twice last season, I'm not sure what's happening. But well before that, you have to understand that there's something wrong, because David Warner was sitting, and he wasn't even wearing the 12th man bib. He was sitting by the boundary ropes at the Hyderabad Stadium in Opal watching a match. तो उस हिसाब से फिर आप मार्कम के साथ जो हो रहा है, अब आप देखो कि पैट कमिंस, and I'm very glad, Kanav, you started the live stream by informing our viewers. This man is not captain T20 at any level, not even club level, and you've given him 20.5 crores. Now, that is nothing to say that he cannot work wonders. He is. Last year, Pat Cummins ne jo bhi chua, wo cheez sona ban gaya. So we understand entirely why they went for him. But the point is, आप इनका आईपीएल करियर देखिए, इनके बैटिंग आंकड़े इनके बॉलिंग आंकड़े से बेटर है. You put 24.5 crores on that man. Let's for 1 minute एक तरफ रखते हैं कि उन्होंने वनडे वर्ल्ड कप और WTC फाइनल में क्या किया. No doubt, brilliant. The most, in my mind, the most influential cricketer of 2023, hands down. But let's get down to brass tacks. ये बहुत ही अलग सिस्टम है. This is a ruthless, cutthroat, business-oriented T20 league. जहां पे आप नहीं चलते हो तो आपका T20, आपका वनडे वर्ल्ड कप और WTC लोग ऐसे भूल जाएंगे. You put all your eggs on a man who's not captain at any T20 level, and you forked out 20.5. It's the classic example of something that could go very, very, very wrong. You already have 7, 8 overseas players vying for 3 spots because Pat Cummins will play. This is not Ricky Ponting. जब Ricky Ponting 2013 में रन नहीं बना रहे थे, टीम की बुरी हालत है, आपने कहा रिकी थैंक यू. पैट कमिंस रिकी पॉन्टिंग नहीं है. इसके ऊपर 20.5 करोड़ का प्राइस टैग है. You are stuck in a very awkward situation if Pat Cummins, like he did for KKR, was going for 10, 12 runs per over and the team is not doing well. I wish him well. I think he's a genius tactician. He's a tremendous bowler. I believe he will put all his past trouble with the ball aside. But if it goes down the David Warner route, if it goes down the Aiden Markram route, you're going to have egg all over your face only because you forked out 20.5 crores on Pat Cummins.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Shini.
One quick point. Not a popular opinion, very unpopular opinion rather, among some certain sections, but I'll still try to make it. Anybody, any team that does not have an Indian as captain, Indian cricketer as captain,
Okay.
chances are it is very, very likely that it is only a result of very poor planning. Why? I will justify that. I'll give you an explanation. IPL at this stage, from a branding standpoint, from a business standpoint, from a sponsorship standpoint, has reached a stage where either an India star or an India star in the making is where the franchises are finding traction, right? And except in certain cases where, look at RCB, Virat Kohli captain ho ya na ho, wo Virat Kohli hai. So he's too big a star. So, you make anybody the captain, you still have that elephant in the room. So Virat Kohli's presence alone will demand a Qatar Airways to come and sponsor. But I'm saying in general, look at the trend. Franchisees are looking at Indian cricketers. So time and again, if franchisees have, kind of taken risks with overseas cricketers as potential captains, most likely it's been a result of poor planning. I've not bought Aiden Markram because I wanted him to be the captain. I bought Aiden Markram and then I didn't know who was the captain. So I decided let's make Aiden Markram the captain. So let's not beat around the bush here.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's a fair point actually. But talking about Pat Cummins, we have been talking about his antics in the 2023 year. But do you think his confidence from all those wins, all those trophies, all those titles can somehow translate to IPL as well? Because he missed the last year's IPL. He has not played IPL in about 2 years now. He's coming back to the league. He's coming back as a captain. क्या वो कॉन्फिडेंस को लेके वो इस आईपीएल में ट्रांसलेट कर पाएंगे कि नहीं कर पाएंगे? व्हाट डू यू थिंक?
ये थोड़ा डिस्टर्बेंस होगा अभी, थोड़ा खत्म. आई एम सेइंग, कैन यू हियर मी?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes,
So
yes.
I'm all in sync with Srini. Whatever he said. Like यहाँ पर लकी ड्रॉ था, यहाँ पर बेस्ट कैप्टन कौन था, वो बेस्ट प्लेयर कौन था, किसका गोल्ड ये चालू है, किसका ग्रेट फॉर्म चालू है, किसका एज ए कैप्टन एज ए लीडर, कौन चीज छू रहा है और सोने में बन रहा है. तो दैट इज पैट कमिंस बिकॉज यू एक्सपेरिमेंटेड विद डेविड with the South African Aiden Markram, you failed. फिर उसमें और कोई लीडर बचा? मयंक अग्रवाल आप नहीं देख रहे हो उसको पोटेंशियल कैप्टन. दे हैव अ वेरी गुड साइड, आई वुड से. आई वाज जस्ट लुकिंग एट द कॉम्बिनेशन. दे हैव अ फैंटास्टिक साइड, young side, mix of youngsters, mix of attackers, mix of a good seam bowlers and spinners. कप्तान नहीं था आपके पास, लीडर नहीं था, तो आपने किसको देखा? आपने देखा पैट कमिंस को. यू सॉ समबडी हु वाज सक्सीडेड इन as World Test Championship captain for Australia, then he's won the World Cup. Great show नहीं होगा. You may not see him as somebody who has extraordinary performance या magical performances deliver नहीं किए होंगे, but कैप्टनसी पोटेंशियल आपको दिख गया, लीडरशिप पोटेंशियल दिख गया, डिस्पाइट नॉट हिम being seen him as a leader in the past as somebody who has done extremely well in as captain in T20 cricket. तो वो हिसाब से मुझे लगता है किसी को भी देखा वहां पर, यार कप्तान है पैट कमिंस, he is the one who has led in past, he is the one who has succeeded for Australia for his team in World Cup or wherever. तो ले लेते हैं इनको. But can that work? I don't think so. I mean it won't be that easy. चला तो अच्छा ही है. It would be a great sign for Sunrisers Hyderabad, but it won't be easy because I mean at the end of the day you're communicating with youngsters, people from rural areas of India, people who have not got that exposure cricketers who have been out there, got that big platform. बहुत सारे ऐसे लोग रहेंगे, but then आपको again श्रीनी भाई का एक super point है. You have played, you have succeeded in Australia, you have succeeded in England, South Africa, क्योंकि आपको मालूम है बॉन्डिंग है प्लेयर्स की, कम्युनिकेशन है, एक गैप नहीं मिलेगा जो यहाँ पर मिलेगा. So it's going to be a pretty hard work for this guy, Pat Cummins. फ्यूचर तो डिसाइड नहीं किया, फ्यूचर देखकर ये टीम कभी भी बैठ के मुझे लगता है सनराइजर्स हैदराबाद ने पिक नहीं किया उनके प्लेयर्स या उनके कप्तान लीडरशिप, जैसे आपने रोहित शर्मा को मुंबई इंडियंस ने किया था, फ्यूचर के लिए पिक किया था, MS धोनी को किया था. तो यहाँ पर आई थिंक दे आर गोना फेस अ लॉट ऑफ इश्यूज, बट इट्स अ वेरी वेरी टैलेंटेड साइड. ओनली दैट इफ ही हैड गॉट इनफ टाइम, जो आज के क्रिकेट में नहीं है बिकॉज ऑफ प्रोफेशनल क्रिकेट एंड अ लॉट एंड अ टाइट कैलेंडर, मुश्किल रहेगा. जेलिंग बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होती है. आप देखेंगे मुंबई इंडियंस कमिंग अप विद अमेजिंग टीम बॉन्डिंग स्ट्रेटेजीज, बूट कैंप, आप वोटिंग कर रहे हो, आप पेंट बॉल पे जा रहे हो, आप अलग अलग चीज देख रहे हो, बट मुझे वो एक टीम बॉन्डिंग बिल्ड करता है, वो मुझे सनराइजर्स हैदराबाद से नहीं दिख रहा है. I would love to see them doing some extracurricular activities for that team bonding, but overall it's a good side. Pat Cummins leader, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, as we have been talking about that, the fact that captaincy में कोई planning नहीं की गई, but साहिल squad में लग रहा है काफी planning की गई है, because again, as we talked yesterday, there seems like a problem of plenty, especially where the overseas contingent is concerned. You have Pat Cummins, Travis Head, Aiden Markram, you have Klaasen, you have the likes of Marco Jansen, Vanindu Hasaranga, Phillips. Who will be your 4 overseas player in this squad? It's a very tough question because there are, as I said, a lot of options. आप किन 4 को देखते हैं पहले मैच में?
Pat Cummins is there, Markram will play, Klaasen will play. So 3 are एकदम 3 तो हो गए ना. Klaasen, Travis Head, Pat Cummins, 3 तो आपके यहीं हो गए. So 4th, if you go for a domestic keeper, then you can't play Phillips.
Yeah.
Or you'll play a left arm seamer in Marco Jansen or Faruqi. Left arm seamer. और तो कोई नहीं दिख रहा मेरे को. Hasaranga, I'm not really sure यार what happens with him, because he's not giving me too much confidence after leaving RCB now. So I'm not really sure about Hasaranga. But yeah, Pat Cummins, Travis Head and Klaasen are my short starters. And Glenn Phillips also hasn't done so badly and looks promising for the middle order role. And the kind of run Tripathi has had this year. Rahul Tripathi had a forgettable domestic season. He moved base to Goa from Maharashtra. Hasn't quite looked the player he was when he kind of broke into the Indian T20 side. So big season for Rahul Tripathi loading too. But I hope and I pray that they kind of give Abhishek Sharma a consistent run at top of the order. Last year usko fir upar niche घुमा दिया था इन लोग ने. He's too good a player in T20s to be playing down the order. Give him an opening spot. Give him at least a couple of overs with the ball too. He's a smart bowler. And he's kind of trained and mentored by Yuvraj Singh here. So if Yuvraj has seen something in him, then there has to be some sort of potential. I hope he kind of manages to channel that into the right direction, because Ranji के अंदर इसको midway drop कर दिया था पंजाब ने इस साल, but SMAT इसका बहुत अच्छा गया था. He had a good Syed Mushtaq Ali trophy, and I think he was the player of the series, if I'm not wrong, for what he did with both bat and ball. So he is a good player, but he needs to get those consistent chances. Power play के अंदर license दो कि जाओ और मारो. बट 3 ओवरसीज प्लेयर तो अपने आप पिक हो रहे हैं यार. मतलब माकरम है, क्लासन है, ट्रेविस हेड है, पैट कमिंस है, 4 ही हो गए ना.
वही एग्जैक्टली, देयर आर टॉप 4.
So Cummins, Travis Head, Aiden Markram, Henrik Klaasen, four batters I can pick on my fingers. 4 तो ये कर ही लोगे आप. तो ओवरसीज में आपका बॉलर ऑप्शन था भी कौन? मार्को यानसन था, फाजिल फरूकी played 2-3 games last season, but वो पुराने बल से मार खाता है. तो मुझे लगता है ये 4 बैटर ही खेलने वाले हैं. जयदेव उनाडकट कुछ कर.
Not Travis Head.
हाँ, yeah, Travis Head, Markram. You are saying no Travis Head?
None.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah.
Travis Head
will be our.
Travis Head will. No, Phillips will play class. अच्छा, you are saying Phillips over Travis Head?
Yeah.
Travis Head को श्रीनी 10 करोड़ दिया है लोग ने शायद.
अरे पैसे तो इन्होंने 25 करोड़ में, पैसे की कमी कहाँ इनके पास. पैसे तो भर के इनके पास.
पैसे की कमी नहीं है, बट श्रेणी what your 4?
Cummins, Markram, Klaasen, Phillips. I mean, I don't see. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, please go ahead. There are 6.8 crores for Travis Head.
Yeah. So this is actually a very interesting debate. Sahil believes that it's Cummins, Markram, Head, and Klassen, whereas Srini believes that it's Glenn Phillips over Travis Head. I like to bring Jamie and Taus also in this. Jamie, who are your 4 overseas players for this team? You are on mute, Jamie. You are on mute.
Mute. I'll unmute you. Yeah, done.
Thanks. You only muted me. Look, Glenn Phillips is probably the most explosive middle order all rounder going around these days. But the point is, under Pat Cummins' captaincy, Travis Head has scored 200s in the 2 biggest matches of their careers. The WTC final, Travis Head got a match-winning 100, and November 90. I think all of us will never forget that innings. The proximity to Australians, as discussed with Delhi Capitals, Travis Head is going to start the first 5 matches. It's unfortunate, but even Aiden Markram might be kept out given Pat Cummins' proximity. Forget proximity. Pat Cummins' understanding and dependability of his own success. He owes the 2 biggest titles he's won on his watch thanks to Travis Head. India के सामने वो अगर एक दिन में 160 नहीं मारता तो नहीं जीतता और वर्ल्ड कप फाइनल कौन जिताया? All said and done, Travis Head ने किया था. So I'm sorry, Glenn Phillips. I'm sorry, Markram. Barring, see, Heinrich Klaasen is the first name on that team sheet. Then comes Pat Cummins. The third name to my mind, at least for the first 5 matches, because Travis Head might be struggling in Test cricket, but his recent T20 scores are 45, 23, and some 30 something. So he's got decent form. It's the potential, the promise of what Travis Head can do. To my mind, he starts the first 5 matches. But यदि वो नहीं चलते 5 match में, then this guy. But to my mind, I love Glenn Phillips, what a fielder. But yeah, 2 Aussies, they're calling the shots in this franchise.
Yeah. So for you, it's Pat Cummins, Travis Head, Markram, and Klassen.
I feel bad. I see we're looking at a season where Aiden Markram wears the bibs and run drinks. You need Marco Jansen there. Travis Head, Aiden Markram suddenly becomes extra surplus. It's going to take a lot for him to come back because his batting hasn't been clicking in the T20 format. So it's very shocking. A former captain is probably going to wear the bib for most of the season, as far as I see it.
Yeah, from captaining one season to going on the bench next season, this can be really a thousand.
Because that's the IPL. It's a business, and business makes some tough calls there.
Yeah, Taus, your 4 overseas.
For me, I would go with Travis Head because under Pat Cummins he's done well, and then he's attacking, starts well. Sunrisers need a left-hander. I mean, David Warner used to dominate as a left-hander for Sunrisers Hyderabad at that time. Maybe he may not match that level of consistency, or I wouldn't say consistency, but aggressiveness, attacking skill. But Travis Head is somewhat, he knows how to play white ball cricket, so he would get Sunrisers a good start. But you can't miss out on I mean, for me, Heinrich Klaasen, of course, he has to be there. But you can't miss out on Wanindu Hasaranga, especially on slow track. यहाँ पर बहुत क्रूशियल रोल रहता है जब आपके पास टॉप स्पिनर्स नहीं है, आपके पास वॉशिंगटन सुंदर अगेन, then you can't count names when it comes to spinners. I would go with Wanindu Hasaranga in the middle to bowl those middle overs. Yeah. And he's quite crucial. Or apart from that, he's a wicket-taking bowler.
Taus, if the reports are to be believed, Hasaranga will not be playing first few IPL matches because he is with the Sri Lankan team for the Bangladesh Test series. That is what a report came out yesterday.
But that came in the morning. By evening, news came that he's not allowed to play the Test series. So he's joining.
He'll be because of the ban.
So he'll be there.
To exploit वो नहीं हो पा रहा.
Yeah. I was reading the way he came out of retirement with the ban, but that's a discussion.
उसको उल्टा गुगली मार दिया. नहीं
वही.
Yeah, that's a discussion for other day. But yeah, Taus, your 4 you were saying.
Exactly. Pat Cummins. I mean, you can't go beyond that. 4 Pat Cummins, Travis Head, Heinrich Klaasen. I love that player. Middle order. He'll finish your career if he plays there. And then Wanindu Hasaranga. I would love to have Glenn Phillips, but यार 4 के आगे आप नहीं जा सकते.
Problem of plenty, as I say.
Yeah, we need to accommodate Indians as well.
Yeah. But Shini, as a squad, as a whole, how do you see SRH this season? Because I've been hearing many previews, many build-ups to IPL where they have been talking that this is a squad that can easily make it into the playoffs, and then it's again about the knockouts that particular day how they play. But do you see this squad easily making it to the playoffs this year?
On paper, definitely looks like. But that's the beauty of IPL. You've seen a lot of
Yeah.
squads looking very good on paper that really haven't translated on the field. I think that's always a result of lack of planning and lack of consistency.
Yeah.
Make and break. Every year you dismantle teams. Every year you bring in a new philosophy, new captain, new thought process, what happens in scenarios like that is like lagi to lag ki wala concept hai wo. You see, I mean, let's see the discussion that we were having in terms of Jamie saying that probably he thinks that Travis Head makes more sense than Glenn Phillips, and he gave a very logical understanding. When I heard that, of course, why not? When he makes so much sense there when he says that Pat Cummins as captain, Travis Head his biggest match winner. Why wouldn't he trust the guy who's delivered for him, right, to
Yeah.
do the job for
Yeah.
him once again? Now, these are things that we are sitting here and talking, but from a franchise perspective, how much time do they get to plan things once they get into the season? Or what kind of freedom does Pat Cummins get? जैसे Aiden Markram बोल गया last season, मुझे तो पता ही नहीं क्या हो रहा है.
Hmm.
So that if hopefully that shouldn't happen. And then the Indian guys in the contingent coming good. You want the Abhishek Sharma had a pretty ordinary last season. So
Yeah.
you want the Sharmas and the Tripatis to revolve around you.
Yeah.
You want the
Yeah.
Sharmas and the Tripatis. You want what's his name? The Kashmir fast bowler Malik
Umran
Umran.
Malik.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want the Umrans of the world to come back in form, raging form, bowl that 150 odd, like, bowl express pace, make a mark, become the talking point, and then from there on, we'll see. It's too early to say what the franchise may go on to do. We've seen how tables, the ranking, that what points table, we've seen. It's usually a neck to neck fight. But that said, these little things that I'm mentioning, this squad may look very kind of क्या बोलना चाहिए problem of plenty. We may look at this squad as if they have a problem of plenty, but you scratch a bit to the surface, you'll realize there are only 4 overseas players you can pick. Okay,
Yeah.
now once you decide who your 4 overseas players are, the India uh, rest of the guys, the 7 guys, probably even the impact player, I think those guys just pick themselves. It's no surprise. If you go on to pick who are the 7, one thing about SRH is that they will, by no matter what, they will play their 4 overseas options because they have those options. But when you look at the 7
Yeah.
India options, there they don't really have a problem of plenty. I think there we know more or less what the 7 is going to be like. So I think if you go, that has to also click, And I mean, what I mean, if, I'm hoping this was, ये तो मैं सोच रहा हूँ कि ये भुवनेश्वर कुमार का last season रहेगा, that
Yeah.
last big season. Okay, if that is the case, then I think the 11 almost picks itself up. Natarajan खेलेगा, उमरान मलिक खेलेगा,
Sundar.
भुवनेश्वर कुमार खेलेगा, और कौन है?
Sundar
Sundar,
Washington Sundar.
वॉशिंगटन सुंदर खेलेगा, वॉशिंगटन
Markande,
सुंदर और त्रिपाठी और
Tripathi.
मयंक
Abhishek.
अग्रवाल, अभिषेक शर्मा हो गया.
हाँ.
Markande, leggy.
मार्कंडे किसकी जगह खेलेगा?
एक
ना
खिलाएंगे,
खेल सकता.
लेग स्पिनर तो खिलाना पड़ेगा.
या एक पेसर को बिठाओ दो तुम, मार्कंडे
हाँ.
खिलाओ.
Natarajan
बस.
maybe.
और बैटर चाहिए तो, अगर मतलब इम्पैक्ट प्लेयर भी है, बैटर चाहिए तो वो है ना उनका, यार आई कीप फॉरगेटिंग, वो पूना का लड़का, महाराष्ट्र का.
राहुल त्रिपाठी,
नहीं नहीं, अब्दुल समद.
वो जेएन के, जम्मू कश्मीर.
हाँ सॉरी, जेन के.
Yeah, Abdul Samad. Yeah. They have pretty much
Abdul
picked
Samad is
themselves.
the
Indian.
Riyan Parag of SRH. So much
क्यों ऐसे?
promise, so much domestic bullying, but the moment they come to the IPL, they are like a fish out of water. Something happens to them. So much promise, so much talent, but doesn't translate into performances in the IPL.
Yeah, and SRH have also this time changed their coach again, third consecutive season. Brian Lara, who was coaching the side last year, has gone as Daniel Vittori, who will be coaching the side this year. So there's also a shift outside the field as well. But yeah, this was about all about SRH. We'll now move on to our next team of the day, and that is Gujarat Titans. Sahil, I'd like to bring you in. एक फोटो आप देख रहे हैं ग्राफिक्स पे लेफ्ट साइड, एक यंगस्टर, इंडिया का यंगस्टर जो रिसेंटली फॉर्म के कारण काफी इंडिया इंग्लैंड सीरीज से पहले था न्यूज में कि फॉर्म खराब है, क्या टेस्ट सीरीज से ड्रॉप होंगे, फिर रन्स आए, सेंचुरीज आई टेस्ट सीरीज में. डू यू थिंक दिस इज द राइट टाइम फॉर अ प्लेयर लाइक शुभमन गिल to lead an IPL franchise?
Why not? Yeah, we've seen what happened with Gujarat Titans in their first two seasons. Hardik Pandya had no captaincy experience. He had absolutely no captaincy experience, and ऐसा लगता भी नहीं था कि कैप्टनसी एम्बिशन भी था उससे पहले. It was only after what he did in the IPL that Hardik Pandya, the leader, the captain, was being talked about. It was only after those first couple of seasons, at least the first season, that his name started making rounds even in Indian cricket circles, that he could well be your potential skipper when it comes to white ball formats. And he kind of did deliver in the first two seasons. अब वही होता है ना, तुक्का एक बार लगता है, जब दूसरी बार लगा तो it means something has been happening right. Whether it's at the franchise front, whether it's with the team clicking together, or you may call it whatever. But a leader was doing the job which was required, and that was happening with Hardik Pandya and Ashish Nehra, doing what they did in the first two editions of Gujarat Titans. Now, Shubman Gill is a similar case. He hasn't led. He hasn't led in domestic circuit. इक्का दुक्का मैच एज ग्रुप क्रिकेट किया होगा या पंजाब को लीड किया होगा, बट उसके अलावा शुभमन गिल इज सो ऑब्सेस्ड विद हिज बैटिंग कि उसको बैटिंग के बाहर दुनिया दिखती नहीं है. उसको बस अपना 3 घंटे 4 घंटे बैटिंग करनी है, नथिंग बियॉन्ड दैट. 4-5 पंजाबी गानों के ऊपर रील बनती है, इंस्टाग्राम पे लगती है. He's absolutely obsessed with batting. मतलब I haven't seen any player as obsessed with batting. He's probably as obsessed with batting as much as Rahul Dravid is obsessed with pitches right now. So Shubman Gill is a classic case of batting obsession. So for him to make that captaincy shift, yes, it will take a lot of doing. He's still very young, still finding his feet when it comes to establishing himself across formats in international cricket right now. And we have been discussing that even in T20 World Cup squad, he may not be a sure shot starter. Yes, he could well travel with the squad, but 11 के अंदर आपको उसकी जगह नहीं दिख रही है. So a lot would be playing up on his mind. First, to establish himself as a batter, to achieve the larger goal of playing the World Cup, which starts in June, and then also to be establishing himself as a captain of the squad which has so much quality. Like, this is one squad which excites you every season. अभी भी आप देखोगे, मतलब आशीष नेहरा मास्टर स्ट्रोक यार. मतलब अगर मोहम्मद शामी नहीं भी है, लाइक आप फास्ट बॉलर्स देखो जो उसने असेंबल कर रखे हैं, इंडियन फास्ट बॉलर्स जो हैं. शिवम मावी को रिलीज किया, उमेश यादव को ले आया पावर प्ले स्पेशलिस्ट ने. मोहित शर्मा को इन्होंने ऐसा हीरा बना दिया जो शायद 2015 वर्ल्ड कप के बाद हमें देखने को मिला नहीं था. So all these players he has assembled, and the spin arsenal which he has beefed up with Sai Kishore, Jayant Yadav, Manav Sutar, very exciting left arm spinner, under 23 level पे अच्छा किया, रणजी भी अच्छा कर रहा है. So the squad which they have assembled is so exciting, and only better things can be in store for them. But I hope it doesn't affect Shubman Gill the batter, because I think last हमने एक बार शो किया था शुभमन गिल की कैप्टनसी को लेके. तो पहले जब शुभमन बैटिंग कर रहा था ना लास्ट फर्स्ट 2 सीजन के अंदर, it was just Shubman focusing on his batting, not even worried about the strike rate, because you had so much muscle to follow. Miller, Abhinav Manohar, you had Hardik Pandya, your middle order was so threatening. तो शुभमन को इतना फाइट नहीं था. अभी डबल फाइट होने वाला है. 4 नंबर पे हार्दिक नहीं आने वाला आपके पास. आशीष नेहरा की बातें सारी आपको सुननी पड़ेंगी. तो how you kind of manage and juggle those roles, this could well be I was speaking to Gujarat Titans CEO yesterday, and this could well be the season where you establish Shubman Gill as the next big thing in Indian cricket. Not that he's not right now, but अगर वो captaincy कर देता है और season कर देता है जहाँ GT and ends up reaching the playoffs at least, it will be a big win-win for Indian cricket and Shubman Gill यार.
Yeah, and that is actually a very interesting point, Jamie. I'd like to bring you in here, talking, keeping in mind the Indian team's future, that he could very well be India's captain if he starts well, if he shows promise as a captain. Do you think this is a perfect opportunity for someone like Shubman Gill to kind of get into that role, get adapted to that role, and somehow give an audition, sort of, that he can also very well lead a side?
Yeah, I can't off the top of my head think of what his past captaincy experience is, but I don't think that's a massive thing, because we know he had talent, कोई doubt नहीं है. He's looked best when he's playing for Gujarat Titans more so than KKR, especially when he's playing in Ahmedabad. Unfortunately, now, chalo Hardik Pandya gaye, no, you can't talk about it. Mohammad Shami ke na hone se, who's he going to pick? I actually feel bad for him. He has a very average, bowling attack because Shami back-to-back 2 seasons इनके सबसे best leading wicket taker थे वो नहीं है. I said it a few days ago. Mohit Sharma, fantastic story. It might just be a one season. You cannot expect Mohit Sharma to do what he did. आपकी bowling क्या है? So for someone who's 24, to my mind, and please you guys can weigh in, his poorest format is the T20 format. So you have that to factor in. He's looked at potentially his T20 World Cup spot go down the drain with Jaiswal rising in the last 12 months and the BCI making the blunder of calling back Rohit Sharma. How is that going to play on him? He knows कि मेरे पास 6 innings है May 1st से पहले to cement my place as the third opener. Is that going to weigh down on him as a captain? I think it will. So I would not want to be in Shubman Gill's shoes right now. Untested as a leader, massive responsibility. This is a 2-year-old franchise which has got to the finals 2 times. And now they're without 2 of the biggest players that helped them get there in Pandya and Mohammad Shami. Hats off, but the heart really goes out to Shubman Gill right now. And I don't see a good season for Gujarat Titans.
Well, actually, that's a very interesting take. Shini, what do you agree with this? The fact that Shubman Gill on one hand is fighting for somehow, in a way, his spot in the T20 World Cup if he can score runs before the squad is announced, and on the other hand, he also has to lead a successful franchise who has made it to the finals twice and won a trophy once. How do you see Gujarat Titans and Shubman Gill shaping up this season? You're on mute, Shini. You're on mute. Yeah.
I never thought I would say this, but they have Vijay Shankar. You know, anyway, so like just as I see, the point is, Jamie's 100% right here. The 2 guys who are missing have left a gaping hole. Have left a very big hole. Okay, and I can sense that Titans haven't really kind of tinkered too much around it, except for that one big buy, and I want to see what they do with this one name, Spencer Johnson. 10 crore का player खरीदा है. Okay, तो आप उसका क्या करोगे? And honestly, I have only read about him. I have never seen him play. So I really want to see what does this guy bring to the table. If anybody's actually seen him play among y'all, I would like y'all to kind of add something about it. But that said, what Jamie says, yes, totally agree. 2 guys walk out of this 11 and look at the vacuum that they have created. Both Mohammad Shami and Hardik Pandya, both match winners in their own right, massive big match winners. Especially what Mohammad Shami was bringing to the table, especially the kind of form that Shami was in, until the World Cup was on. And again, I mean, even Hardik, Hardik has got that golden touch, all of this is going to matter. And yeah, as everybody's saying, yeah, you're a young captain, too much on his shoulders, but nobody's expecting him to kind of do a miracle, pull off a miracle here. Everybody understands that you have a young guy on whose shoulders the captaincy has come out of the blue, and give him his breathing space. Don't really expect him to pull off a miracle here, especially in the absence of some really time tested match winners. So you got to give him space, and I would rather want to see, at least in the first leg of the tournament, how does this 11 come along. I'm not going to ignore the fact that there are some guys in this squad who have successfully managed to punch above their weight. The Tewatias and the Shankars. And I have not gotten over a Sai Sudarshan yet. For me, what a lovely guy. So when there are these names, and couple them with the Millers, and they have that guy also, no? Shah Rukh Khan.
Rashid Khan.
Shah Rukh Khan.
Yeah, Shah
Rashid Khan, hey, that too. Okay. As I said, I was making that point about captaincy and overseas players. If it was overseas players, captaincy here should have gone to Rashid, right? Yeah, but if you have a choice, captaincy will always go to an Indian. So that is why I'm saying. And so you got to see how they once again manage to punch above their weight in the absence of these 2. I'll make a very quick point. We started this conversation. I'm sorry, I'm digressing a little bit.
Yeah,
Well, just make it right now. We started this conversation today evening on, the topic was captaincy when we talked about Pat Cummins, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
we went on to discuss how franchisees and captains, and I made that point about how an overseas captain is happening only because of lack of choice, because you have not planned properly, you've planned poorly. Purely from that perspective, I'd like to add here that Gujarat Titans having to let go of Hardik Pandya. People may like the decision, not like the decision of how Mumbai Indians went about in getting Hardik Pandya, but that's where it matters. They identified a captain, they went out of the way and they said, nothing doing, we are not missing this bus, we want it now. There are Rohit Sharma fans who may feel um, gutted, and that's what fandom is all about. Fandom is about feeling gutted at some point in time, feeling elated at some point in time, but that's fandom. But when you look at it from a very realistic standpoint, you see the very practical call that the franchise made.
Yeah,
Made no emotion sport from a
yeah,
professional perspective. This is
yeah,
the kind of edge that it brings to the table. This is what
yeah,
you would like to see more and more of going into the
yeah,
future.
yeah. Yeah, but Sahil, एक साल बाद मेगा ऑक्शंस हैं, तो डू यू थिंक गुजरात शुड हैव वेटेड इन द सेंस कि आप केन विलियमसन, राशिद खान, उनको एक साल कैप्टनसी देकर शुभमन गिल को आप रिटेन करके ऑब्वियसली उनको बोलिए आप स्क्रैच से अपना स्क्वाड बनाइए या आप आपके विजन के हिसाब से अपना स्क्वाड बनाइए एंड टेक दिस फ्रेंचाइजी फॉरवर्ड.
That could have been, yeah, but I think that what they've done is they've invested in the future, right? And they've also assured Shubman Gill that we don't want you to kind of consider going anywhere when the mega auctions kind of approach, because obviously he'll be one player who will be like sought after from almost every franchise because of what he brings to the table when it comes to both cricket and the brand value and being a Indian player rising through the ranks. So Gujarat Titans have done their bit smartly by investing in him and telling him that, boss, we want you here for future as well. So that is why they made him the captain. And Kane Williamson, I'm not really sure whether he'll last with Gujarat Titans after this season, right? Because he wouldn't be like first choice of retention for sure. I'm not seeing him being retained ahead of the mega auction for sure.
Yeah.
So if that is not the case, then why would you like have a stopgap arrangement in place? Now talking about the mega auction, I think where Sunrisers have messed up is by appointing Pat Cummins the captain, because mega auction के अंदर ये लोग फिर कुछ 19-20 करने वाले हैं, because the Australian players are notoriously known to kind of pick their IPL seasons according to Australia's FTP. So what happens Australia के FTP के अंदर when the IPL happens in 2025, it is only then we'll get to know about Pat Cummins and Mitchell Starc और इन सब की availability का. So यहाँ तो stopgap arrangement तो थोड़ा SRH ने करा है, but with Shubman Gill, Gujarat Titans have made their future intention pretty clear and they want to invest in him. And even if this season doesn't go as per plans, they still want the squad to be built around him even at the mega auction next year.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty clear Shubman Gill is the future for Gujarat Titans and they want him to start taking the leadership role from this season itself. We'll now move on to the comments. We have a lot of comments talking about both the squads, SRH and GT. I'd like to request my producer to please push in the comments and we can ask our panel one by one. Sports fan is saying, since Hasaranga is injured, spin attack of SRH looks very weak. Sundar can't be your lead spinner for the season. Sahil, any update on Hasranga's injury? Is there any injury that's
No, I think not
bothering
about the
Hasranga?
injury.
Yeah.
He was kind of
Yeah.
available to play the test series. Yaar. Injury to koi nahi hai. And yes, Washington Sundar can be your lead spinner. He just needs a good franchise to bowl him at the right time. Usko power play mein 2-3 over dalwao yaar and improve his chances of making to the T20 World Cup squad. Don't mess it up. Washington Sundar didn't play the season last time. I think 2 or 3 game खेला था, had ordinary outings, was injured, has been very unfortunate with injuries. But I think if Washington Sundar gets the entire season, gets to bowl at the right time, he can be your lead spinner because he's a smart off spinner, fastest off spinner. Success उतना नहीं मिला है, but the time he had spent with the Indian cricket team test series के time पे working and interacting so much with R. Ashwin would have done a world of good to his confidence and his skill before heading into the IPL. And they also have Shahbaz Ahmed, Mayank Markande. So I don't think this is a weak spin attack. They have smart spinners Indian domestic circuit के जो अच्छा करते हुए आए हैं. And Shahbaz Ahmed was highly underutilized by RCB. Another classic case of RCB not using a player to his potential. Shahbaz Ahmed is one. He can hit the ball a long way lower down the order and is a very smart bowler. Bengal has done really well. So Shahbaz Ahmed, Mayank Markande, Hasaranga, Washington Sundar. I don't think this is a weak spin attack.
Absolutely, Washington Sundar Sranga, and as you said, all the spinners. SRH looks good in that department. We'll move
तो
on to the next.
वो तो वहां पे उसने he pulled off a coup ना वो सस्पेंशन वो
Yeah,
आईसीसी
Oh
वाले
Asranga.
ने
yeah,
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 that
yeah.
loophole. He found a loophole. But
हाँ
that's a very interesting discussion. But yeah, some other day. KK is saying I will trust Gary and Nehra sir more than Gill. He is in right hand in terms of captaincy. Shini, yesterday you said that you don't believe so much in T20 captaincy because there's a lot of coaching and other stuff is also involved. How important do you think Gary and Nehra will be along with Shubman Gill in kind of building
even
them?
even when Hardik was captaining Gujarat Titans in the
Yeah,
first year, look at the kind of role that Nehra had to play ना
yeah,
आशीष नेहरा had to play. अब ये लोग होते हैं कि मतलब एक को चढ़ाने के लिए दूसरे को उतार देंगे, एक किसी को अच्छा बताने के लिए दूसरे को you know keep it nice. I mean it's a team at the end of the day. They won the title. किसी ने 19 कंट्रीब्यूट किया, किसी ने 20 कंट्रीब्यूट किया, doesn't really make a difference. So from that standpoint, the captain on the pitch, within the 30-yard circle, and the coach standing just outside the boundary rope, they're a team. They are communicating with each other, and that is how the marshalling of whatever resources you have at your disposal is happening. You know, so yeah, I mean, I have always believed there is not much captaining to do. आप 20 ओवर में क्या कप्तानी कर लोगे? आप जो स्ट्रैटेजी बना के जाते हो पहले के वो पहला स्पेल उसका मतलब उसका पहला ये लेग इंट्रोड्यूस करने में आपके 6 से 7 ओवर निकल जाते हैं योर 40% ऑफ द गेम इज ओवर. So from there, you are either building on something that you've already pulled off, or you are just doing repair work and damage control. That's more or less the script of an IPL game. An average IPL game. So from that standpoint, that's why I say there's not much captaining to do. It's all done from either a pre-match perspective, a preview perspective, or a bird's eye perspective, which is where coaches play a larger role. I think, yeah, I mean, Ashish Nehra is going to play a very large role,
yeah.
even in terms of guiding Shubman, and which is a good thing for Gujarat.
Yeah, absolutely. Nehra was there throughout
बहुत
last year,
बहुत
last two
तगड़ी
seasons.
चीज है वो.
Yeah,
बहुत मतलब बहुत सही चीज है वो आशीष नेहरा.
yeah. He was
So
always at the boundary, just one step away from being a fielder in the match, always on the ropes, talking to Pandya and all the.
yeah, and बहुत शातिर चीज है वो. He's really a tactical guy. So good for Shubman that he has someone like Ashish.
Yeah, yeah. Jason is saying they have no other name than they could make the face of their franchise. Plus, if I'm not wrong, next year would be mega auction. They would like to hold him back. I'm pretty sure he's talking about Shubman Gill and Gujarat Titans here. And Jason, yeah, we kind of talked about it that he is the future for the Gujarat team. Next question, we'll move on to the next question. Yep. Priyashu, Sahil bhai kaise ho? Don't you think this is too early for Gill to captain? Should have learned 1 year under Williamson. Priyashu, we have talked about this. Ek saal Williamson ko captaincy. I asked the same thing to Sahil and he perfectly explained के stop gap arrangement की आपको जरूरत नहीं है. शुभमन अगर आपके फ्यूचर है तो it makes sense अभी से उनको आप captaincy दे दे. Next question please. Mudassir Sheikh is saying Will is able to do well as captain. India might get potential good captain for 4-5 years. Jamie, काइंड ऑफ व्हाट आई आस्क यू, अगर वो यहाँ पे एक दो सीजन, नॉट जस्ट वन सीजन, पहले कुछ सीजन ठीक करें तो डू यू थिंक ही इज अ पोटेंशियल इंडिया कैप्टन?
I think we've already discussed this in past shows as well. There's scope, there's potential. So absolutely. But he would need to really do outstandingly well as a captain and man manager for him to be seen as a future India captain right now. Yeah.
Absolutely, man management is actually a very good skill you need. Vijay Shankar was very good last season. He will definitely start, I guess. Sahil, do you agree? Vijay Shankar will definitely start in the 11. They are
Absolutely. Yeah.
moved.
He had a great domestic season. For
Yeah.
sure, he should be starting. They could have a toss up between Abhinav Manohar and Vijay Shankar, depending whether they want a finishing middle order batter or an anchor middle order batter. But I think right now they have space for both because Hardik isn't there.
That guy Abhinav Manohar is another dude. Huh?
दोनों में से एक खेल सकते.
Sports fan, Williamson's strike rate is not ideal in T20 nowadays, so his place is already in question. Shinny, do you see Williamson playing all the matches? Sports fan believe that his strike rate is not ideal in T20 nowadays.
इस 11 में जगह नहीं बैठती है उसकी. With due respect. इस 11 में in the overseas slot कोई जगह बैठती है, and understandable, and and yeah, from a modern day perspective, Williamson really doesn't fit in this team. So you need a guy who's going to when he goes on the field, going to leave his brains out, like not carry his brains on the field, and that you can't expect from Williamson. वो दिमाग तो लेके ही जाएगा, तो आपको वैसे बंदे नहीं चाहिए.
Yeah. Harsh Tiwari, guys, do you think GT will miss Hardik, Swing, and Shammi seam service, and which players would step up in their absence? Sahil, which player will step up in Hardik and Shammi's absence?
Let's get GT's squad.
Yeah.
Okay, let's hide the comment. Okay, so fast bowlers: Spencer Johnson, Umesh Yadav, Rashid Khan, Mohit Sharma, Kartik Tyagi. Probably they could use as an impact player because 145 plus फैक्ट है और अच्छा यूपी T20 लीग करके आया. I think had a couple of hat tricks if I'm not wrong. Darshan Nalkande is another promising bowler. Yes, they will miss, but I think they have enough options कि काम चला सकते हैं. मतलब मेरे को ऐसा नहीं लग रहा कि बहुत alarm bells ring होगा obviously. Mohammad Sami was your go-to bowler last year यार. मतलब with the new ball he was troubling the best of the batters. और हार्दिक पांड्या तो एक एसेट है ही यार, with the ball or with the bat. But I think they have the enough resources right now. Umesh, why I am backing Umesh so much this season because he has played the complete season. वो विदर्भा के लिए मतलब रणजी ट्रॉफी फाइनल तक खेल के आया है. तो रिदम और मैच फिटनेस की अगर मैं बात करूंगा, भुवनेश्वर कुमार से बेटर इस टाइम उमेश यादव के पास है. तो उमेश यादव, I will be very interested in seeing him go about business. You have Spencer Johnson, Rashid Khan, Sai Kishore, Manav Sutar. I think that they are covered. I think there will be problem होगा, but अगर स्मार्टली रिसोर्सेज घुमाया जाएगा तो काम बन जाएगा. साई किशोर को शायद गेम्स मिल जाए इस सीजन, which is important for him also. Good spinner.
Yeah. Perfect. Then we'll take the last two questions here. Priyanshu, Cummins and Stark won't play next IPL next year. There is Ashes and WTC final. They will come in mini auction and get big bucks in 2026. Yeah, exactly what Sahil was saying, that we'll have to wait and see Australia's FTP for next year, and then we'll know if the Australian players will play or not. Well, this was this for the comments. Before we end this live, one last question is just a prediction. Do you see SRH and GT both making it to the playoffs or not? We'll start with Sahil.
I looked a fool last season. I wrote a piece that why people are not talking about SRH, because I thought they were one team which had probably the better auctions, and on paper they looked a gunfight. I got trolled every match day, kind of messed up. I was reminded of my tweet, but I still feel that they have a very good side and they just need to play the right 11. And GT to yaar, matlab, they are a freak team. They are a freak team under a freak coach, and they can do freak things on any given day. On any given day, they can find that one match winner which no one will even think about. Rahul Tewatia, Abhinav Manohar, Sai Sudarshan, Kane Williamson, Riddhiman Saha, all the people. यार वो power play में आके कुछ ऐसा कर जाता है जो किसी को उम्मीद नहीं होती. So I think they're a freak side, blessed with supernatural powers of the universe, which no team has been in the last two editions. So write them off at your own peril. So मैं तो GT को तो मैं discount नहीं कर सकता किसी भी season. SRH का तो भगवान और उनके मालिक है. क्या ही बोले.
Shrini, what do you think?
Well, playoffs, right? That's the question.
Yeah, playoffs.
Chennai Super Kings, Mumbai Indians,
Okay.
Sunrisers Hyderabad. I'm not able to determine inside my mind who's the fourth. GT doesn't look like to me. Law of averages be hai, plus two very senior guys leaving. He's going to put a dent, and I really kind of, I mean, it's not like I don't want Shubman to do well. Obviously, I hope she does extremely well, but I'm just being very practical here. But again, if not them who? KKR doesn't give me the confidence. Rajasthan Royals doesn't give me this. Rajasthan Royals doesn't give me the confidence. I mean, Yashasvi is there, but doesn't give me the confidence. Once the tournament begins, वो फिर ये तीन going into the tournament right now. If I had to kind of put my this thing,
Lucknow?
let me take
for
a
the
risk.
fourth. Yeah.
I think you need to think and only think about one name, Srini. It's Royal Challengers Bangalore. They're winning the title this season.
That's why I was saying, like,
Wounded
if I
Lion
have
is back
to,
from
if I have to round it up for, if I have to round it up, let me say
Jamie's already frowning, but it will happen.
Jamie,
World champion.
it's such
और
an
लड़कियां
interesting
जीतती
thing.
गई है इस साल.
Double delight
Doubling up. RCB will be doubling up this year. But Jamie, I know, without even asking, I know Jamie will disagree big time. But Jamie, as of now, SRH or GT, are they making it to the playoffs or not?
I was like Sahil. I had big hopes from SRH last year because what they had on paper. But वही है ना कि paper में होता तो यार अभी तक Delhi Daredevils would have at least 7 titles. So it's not how it works. Between the two, I will still say SRH because if things come together, that's a dynamite team. I think the pressure of not having Hardik Pandya, you replaced with 2 players. I was making my probable 11 of GT for the first 3-4 games. It's good, but players like Abhinav Manohar don't play. Shah Rukh Khan doesn't play because you need Rahul Tewatia to give you one over here and there. Spencer Johnson has to play. So between the two, I would say on paper and potential, SRH.
Well, SRH is
But neither are in my top 4. But I'm only answering your question.
Who are your top 4?
Who are your top 4?
CSK, RC. I would say CSK, RR for sure because RR's team has not changed and they're a playoff team. CSK because I'm only one man. I don't like Lucknow, but I got a feeling things are going to work out well for them. And pata nahi yaar, the 4th team. Actually, I'm going to change it. I'm going to say no, not this team. This team is broken. Half the players are injured. I'll stick my neck out and I'll throw in Sunrisers Hyderabad as the 4th team. So Mumbai Indians don't have Sky for 2-3 matches. They've lost Berendorf. They've lost Madhu Shankar. They've lost one more player. Kutsi is not starting the first 3 games. I don't see how that team ends up higher than 6.
Good, huh? Luke Wood is good. I saw his videos.
ये BBL वाले 100 वाले ये वहीं पे है. Mumbai is a crack team on paper. I don't see them going higher than 6 this season.
This is a very interesting debate. The top 4 debate and predictions.
Piyush Chawla is your lead spinner, yaar. Kya mazak team hai yaar ye. No chance.
MI and RCB, Jamie's analysis of MI.
RCB, no. RCB to Mumbai has got 5 titles for a reason. It is bad luck that 4 of their players are injured.
Ending the league stage at top of the table. Ending the league stage at top of the table. I am sticking my neck, hand, everything out.
Okay.
I see it happening.
RCB. He's saying RCB.
RCB.
Yeah. Sahil, is this the RCB fan? I think this is the RCB fan.
No, yeah, I really like the look of the squad. I don't know why. I really like the look of the squad with Cameron Green coming in, Maxwell there, Faf there, Virat there, Patidar there, DK, Mahipal Lomror, Akashdeep, Mohammad Siraj. मुझे तो अच्छा लग रहा है यार, बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है.
How can Glenn Maxwell be? How can he be your only spinner? It's disaster team.
Mayank Dagar, अच्छा लग रहा है. मौका नहीं देना.
Next, Jammu ke Jazbaat should be with Jamie and Sahil both on RCB squad, and Jammu and Sahil ke Jazbaat, dono ke Jazbaat. But what an interesting
Cameron Green will be begging someone to get him out of RCB at the auction. Likh ke lo mujhse, likh ke lo.
Well, what an interesting take. Well, thank you so much, Sahil. Thank you so much, Srini. Thank you so much, Jamie, for connecting with us. And thank you so much to all our viewers. We'll keep on building up to the IPL 2024 in the coming episodes of the 6:45 p.m. live that we do. Until then, please take care of yourself and have an amazing day today. Thank you so much.
Fastest cricket score updates या सबसे detailed stats
क्रिकेट के अंदर बाहर की खबरें
या healthy debates
सबसे एक्यूरेट एनालिसिस
या fans का craze, सबके लिए एक ही प्लेटफॉर्म, क्योंकि क्रिकेट मतलब क्रिकेट नेक्स्ट.